The night air in the mountains was chilly, but the atmosphere in the military camp was no less warmed by the spirit of the assembled soldiers. For Jungkook, it was his first new year at the military camp, away from the grand stages and screams of thousands of fans that he was used to. That day, Jungkook woke up earlier than usual. The chiming of the small bell in the camp that usually signaled the start of the day made him immediately get out of bed. The morning air was cold, making his breath look like a thin white vapor. He straightened the blankets and made sure his bed was in perfect order, a strict rule in the military camp that he could not ignore. The day's agenda was a little different from usual. On the bulletin board in the barracks, there was a reminder that there would be a simple celebration to welcome the new year that night. Even so, the routine as a soldier continued as usual. After an early breakfast consisting of rice, warm soup, and a few simple side dishes, Jungkook and his comrades soon gathered on the main field for physical training. The morning workout was more intense. Push-ups, sit-ups, and running around the field became draining activities. However, Jungkook enjoyed it. During his few months in the military camp, he became accustomed to the discipline and rigorous training that had previously seemed far removed from his life as an idol. "It's colder than usual today, huh?" muttered one of his fellow soldiers as they took a short break. Jungkook nodded with a smile. "Yeah, but it feels fresh too," he replied. Despite the cold, their bodies were still sweating after a strenuous training session. After the physical training, they headed to the equipment warehouse for inspection. Jungkook made sure his uniform, boots, and gear were in perfect condition. He knows that attention to detail is one of the important values taught at this camp. The activity continued with a field simulation. Jungkook and his team went through a training session on defensive and offensive strategies, which required cooperation and coordination. Although he was tired at times, he was happy with the team spirit that always supported each other. By lunchtime, the atmosphere was a little more relaxed. Some of the teammates started talking about their little plans for the evening's festivities. "We'll have a singing session, you know. Jungkook, you have to sing," one of the seniors exclaimed. Jungkook chuckled, "I'll try, young, but don't expect too much." Time passed quickly. After dinner, Jungkook and the others were given time to get ready. He put on his best uniform and joined his friends in the main hall of the camp, which had been decorated simply. There were colorful lights hanging in the corners of the room, and tables with snacks were starting to fill up. Although the atmosphere was not as grand as the New Year's parties he had experienced on stage or in big cities, there was a strong sense of community. Jungkook felt warm amidst the chill of the night, realizing that this new year would probably be one of the most meaningful in his life. Jungkook, with his hair now cut short, seemed to blend in with the other soldiers. Even so, he couldn't avoid the extra attention from his friends in the barracks. "Jungkook, sing a song for us tonight," joked one of his seniors as they rested after training. Jungkook just smiled shyly. "We'll see, young," he replied, wiping the sweat from his forehead. As night fell, the main hall of the camp began to be decorated simply. Small lights hung in the corners of the room, and a long table full of snacks was set up by the kitchen team. Everyone gathered in neat uniforms. Jungkook sat in one corner, enjoying the moment in a way that was new to him. "Jungkook SSI, do you usually spend New Year's Eve like this?" a new colleague asked. Jungkook smiled and replied, "Usually, I'm on stage, counting down with ARMY. But tonight, it feels more quiet, but still special." When the clock struck 23:30, a commander took the small stage and gave a short speech about togetherness, sacrifice, and hopes for the coming year. After that, the atmosphere turned more relaxed. Music started playing, and some soldiers started singing and dancing in front of their comrades. "Jungkook, it's your turn," one of his seniors exclaimed, making everyone cheer. With some reluctance, Jungkook stood up and took the microphone. "I don't have much preparation, so I'll sing something simple," he said. He began to sing a soothing ballad, his distinctive voice filling the room and leaving everyone speechless. The song wasn't just entertainment. It was like a warm hug for everyone who missed their home that night. When he finished, a standing ovation echoed through the hall. As the seconds ticked down to midnight, everyone stood together, counting counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Cheers echoed, followed by hugs and congratulations from each other. Jungkook felt his heart warm despite being away from his family and fans. After the celebration was over, Jungkook returned to his quarters. He sat on his bed, looking at a photo of his family and some of the boys' friends that he kept in a small notebook. In his heart, he prayed that the new year would bring peace, happiness, and strength to everyone he loved. And in the quiet of the night, Jungkook sat alone on his narrow bed in the barracks. Moonlight peeked through the small window in the corner of the room, creating soft, soothing shadows on the wall. The sound of the regular breathing of the sleeping soldiers was a soothing backdrop of silence. Jungkook opened a small notebook that he always kept in his bag. It was where he wrote down thoughts that he found difficult to express in words. On the first page, he saw something he had written before entering military camp. Asterisk, I'm scared, but I'm also excited. I wonder what Jungkook will be like, without the spotlights, without the thousands of voices calling my name. Asterisk. He smiled a little reading that sentence. Back then, he had written it with anxiety, unsure of what to expect. But now, a few months after joining the military, he felt like those words had a deeper meaning. This year, she learned many things. Amidst the harsh routine and strict discipline, he discovered a new side of himself. He learned to appreciate the little things like a warm bowl of soup after a tough workout, or a casual chat with his teammates during breaks. He also began to understand the meaning of togetherness in a different form. On stage, he was used to being the center of attention, surrounded by his groupmates and supported by thousands of fans. But here, togetherness wasn't about the spotlight or recognition. It was about supporting each other in adversity, sharing laughter despite body fatigue, and finding strength in being together without needing to say much. While serving his country, Jungkook felt a different kind of pride. He knew that it wasn't just about himself, but about giving something back to the place that had given him so much. He felt a greater sense of responsibility, which made him grow as an individual. He closed his notebook, but his mind was still drifting. He thought about the future, about how he would return to the stage one day, but with a different perspective. He wanted to bring the lessons he learned here into his life as an artist and individual. Jungkook looked out the window at the star-filled night sky. He recalled the prayer he had said a few hours earlier during the New Year's celebration. A prayer for his family, his friends in BTS, and the army who had always faithfully supported him. He knew they were waiting for him, and that gave him the strength to keep going. This year has been hard, he murmured softly, but I'm grateful. I learned things I never expected, and I know I'll be better for it. She took a deep breath, letting the cold night air fill her lungs. Inwardly, she felt at peace. This new year might not be filled with glitter or glamour, but he knew that these moments would be an unforgettable part of his journey. With a small smile on his face, Jungkook lay down and pulled up the blanket. In the stillness of the night, he closed his eyes, starting the new year with gratitude and great hope for tomorrow.